I'm going to show you how to play the rasgueo. And I'll show how to avoid the common mistakes that make it sound messy, and I'll give you some exercises and cool ways to use it in styles like rumba or tangos. This technique is called rasgueo de molinillo. Molinillo means little windmill in Spanish. All the flamenco techniques have names like that, as if they were attacks from an anime show or something. So rasgueo de molinillo is like the older brother of rasgueo de abanico that we saw in the previous episode. They're basically interchangeable, but this one uses 3 fingers instead of 2. Hence the name, because they kind of look like the blades of a windmill, I guess. Now that I think about it, I taught you to do the abanico with 3 fingers as well, but these 2 are used as 1, so it doesn't count. You could also do it like this, if you want to be disrespectful. The takeaway is that molinillo sounds sharper and abanico sounds more powerful. Enough talk, let's learn the little windmill technique. It has 3 steps. Step 1, up with the thumb. Step 2, down with the ring finger. And step 3, down with the index finger. As you go down with the index finger, you go down with the whole hand, meaning you don't just go down with the index, because you want to be ready to do step 1 again. So step 1, step 2, and step 3. Now try looping these steps as seamlessly as possible and timing them evenly. There's another way to do the rasgueo, the sabicas way. It's exactly the same, except we use the pinky instead of the ring finger. The reason he chose to do it like this is because if you break your pinky nail, you can still play arpeggios and all the other techniques, but if you break your ring fingernail, you're fucked, especially in the middle of a concert. Sabicas also used to move it around like this, which is a lost art nowadays, but you can try it as well. I prefer using the pinky myself because it feels more balanced. The downside is it's probably harder on the hand, and the pinky is obviously weaker. But that doesn't really matter, and you'll understand why once you learn from the most common mistake, which is playing each stroke as loud as you can. Many people assume because flamenco is so high energy that you need to play everything loud. That's not the case. In this case, you want to accentuate the thumb stroke and make the other two strokes softer. This will make it sound more precise and help you time it better. Otherwise, it's very easy to sound all over the place. It's the same concept as with the abanico rasgueo. Unlike the abanico rasgueo, with this one we use both the fingers and the forearm, even when we're playing it fast. And how much you work with your fingers or with your forearm is up to you. In general, more finger strength will give you more aggressive sound, and more forearm will give you a more even feel. So experiment with both and see what feels best to you. Bonus tip, in general you want to play your rasgueos in this part here. And I know I just showed you a clip of sabicas moving it around the fretboard, but that was just for the effect. As a rule of thumb, if you want the sharp flamenco sound, you want to play in this part here. The closer you get to the sound hole, the muddier it gets. If you find it still sounds muddy even when you're playing closer to the bridge, your guitar probably doesn't have a fast response appropriate for flamenco. And in case you're wondering, you don't need to spend a ton of money on a high-end flamenco guitar to get a fast response. I've made a video where I compare a cheap guitar with a fast response to an expensive one with not so fast response, and I explain how to spot a good one. But only my newsletter subscribers can watch it, so if you're not subscribed yet, go to flamencoaddict.com, just enter your email, and after you confirm your email, you'll receive the video. The video is called 3 Things Every Beginner Needs to Know, and aside from learning how to spot a good flamenco guitar, you learn a couple more tips on how to practice and mindset. By the way, a lot of people ask me what's the cheap guitar that I play there. I don't mention it in the video because the point is that you learn how to spot a good flamenco guitar on your own. But if you're interested, just email me or answer any one of my emails with the word cheap guitar all together as one word, and I'll tell you the model name. Just don't ask me where to buy it. I'm not connected to the brand and I don't even know if it's available where you live.
Now let's move on to real musical examples. The practice exercises for Molinillo Rasgueo are exactly the same as the ones from the previous Abanico Rasgueo tutorial, so I'm not going to repeat those exercises here. To practice the technique itself, make sure you watch the previous video and apply those exercises to the Molinillo technique. For this one, we're going to focus on integrating this rasgueo into groove patterns. We already saw several examples of cierres in the abanico tutorial. In case you don't know, cierres are those kicks that we do to kind of close a section, like. So let's do a variant on the flamenco rumba pattern. If you don't know the flamenco rumba pattern yet, check out my tutorial. It sounds like this. I'm going to mute the strings for clarity. You can do it with whatever chord you want. So, assuming you know the flamenco rumba pattern, instead of doing this part, we're going to do this instead. So the whole thing looks like this. As you can see, the rest of the pattern is the standard flamenco rumba pattern. We only change the first steps. Let's see another variant on the flamenco rumba pattern. It's not really an alternative pattern, it's more like a small detail that you can add occasionally. It sounds like this. So in this case, we don't do the molinillo on the first part of the pattern, we do it on the second part. So the first part, we keep it the same as the standard flamenco rumba pattern, except we don't mute the strings. It looks like this. Let's see an example in the style of tangos. There are several ways to keep the tangos groove. The one we just saw for rumba works for tangos perfectly as well. But I'm going to give you another one. It sounds like this. This is how it works. In tangos we always do a golpe on the first beat. So hit the guitar top and then do 2 cycles of molinillo. Notice that in this case I'm not accentuating the thumb, I'm accentuating the index instead. It's another way of using it. So far we've got golpe and 2 molinillos. Now we're going to add a third molinillo, but in this case we'll leave the thumb hanging on the 6th string like this. So after we go up with the thumb, we rest it on the 6th string. And then we go up with the index. So the whole thing looks like this. So we're going to do it with these chords, for example. And to close the pattern, we're going to use this cierre. So this cierre is 1 cycle of molinillo, ending up with the thumb, and that's the accent. And then we mute the strings. So this last part looks like this. Golpe, index, and the cierre we just saw. I'll play the whole thing slowly. So it sounds like this. Like I said, all these exercises and examples are interchangeable with the rasgueo de abanico. So for example, this one we just did, we could do it with the abanico technique instead, like this. Let me know how you're doing with this tutorial in the comments. So for the next episode, I'm probably going to introduce a completely different type of rasgueo. So subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss out. That's all for today. Have a good one.